مشاهدينا في كل مكان اهلا بيكم. احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعاده السفير جورج دي لا روش سفير جمهوريه جواتيمالا لدى جمهوريه مصر العربيه. في لقاء اليوم هنتحدث عن تاريخ العلاقات المصريه الجواتيماليه، وايضا هنتحدث عن حجم التبادل التجاري والاستثمارات بين البلدين. فابقوا معنا وتابعونا. مشاهدينا في كل مكان اهلا بيكم. احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعاده السفير جورج دي لا روش سفير دوله جواتيمالا لدى جمهوريه مصر العربيه. Your Excellency, please allow me to thank you so much for the second time to have you in our interview.
My pleasure. Thank you.
At this part, we would like to talk about the history of the relations between Egypt and Guatemala. So please tell us all about it.
Thank you very much. It is very important to highlight that the diplomatic relations between the Republic of Guatemala and the Arab Republic of Egypt began in September of 1970, 55 years ago. For us, Egypt is one of the most, if not the most important player in the Middle East, in the Arab world, and in Africa. This was our first embassy in Africa, in the Middle East, in the Arab world for many, many years. We have only recently opened an embassy in Morocco, in the United Arab Emirates, and in Qatar. But before that, for many, many years, the only embassy we had in Africa and the gateway to the Middle East and to the Arab world was this embassy, our embassy in Cairo. It's very important to highlight that. The first Arab embassy in Guatemala, the first Middle Eastern embassy, besides Israel, in Guatemala, was the Egyptian embassy. So this is a clear sign of the strong diplomatic relations that Guatemala and Egypt enjoy. This is very important. I have to emphasize this. Very, very important. I have recently presented credentials to His Excellency the President of Egypt on July 1st. It was a beautiful ceremony. I was very honored to have done so. And I passed to His Excellency the President the greetings from the President of Guatemala to further deepen our cooperation, economic, diplomatic ties between Guatemala and Egypt.
We would like to know more about the cooperation field. So let's start about the cultural cooperation between Egypt and Guatemala.
Thank you very much. We have several cultural initiatives for precisely, starting with cooperation. Your library, the Biblioteca Alexandrina in Alexandria, is accepting a Guatemalan luminary to be part of its board of directors. We are currently working on that together, and we thank you very much for wanting to accept a Guatemalan luminary to be part of the board of directors of such a distinguished library. Here in Cairo, we are looking to put a bust of one of our Nobel Literature Prizes winners, Miguel Ángel Asturias, 1967 Nobel in Literature. We're looking to put a bust of him in Al Horeya Park to be part of the Latin American embassies there. This is a very important initiative, and we hope to do this by the end of the year. Another very important one is the translation of the sacred Mayan book, the Popol Vuh. The Popol Vuh is the Bible of the Mayans, and it talks about the creation of civilization. And Dr. Azmi at the Sadat Academy, right down here, down the road in Mahdi, is helping us with her students translate it to Arabic. And we hope to have that and to be able to publish it in Arabic so that you readers can understand the Mayan mythology. This is a very important initiative. We're also looking forward to others. We have, for example, we're going to be screening movies in Spanish. Our peoples are very similar. Egyptians are very warm, Guatemalans are very warm, and I really feel at home here. I feel when I walk down the street and I don't know, go to a gas station and fill up the car and talk with people, I really feel at home because Egyptians are very warm. We say hello in the same way. It's comforting for me to be living in a place like Cairo. Very similar. We enjoy our food. We talk a lot with our hands. We talk a lot like Egyptians. So yes, there's a lot of similarities, all very positive.
I'd like to go back and talk about the cooperations and now the field of, let's say,
education?
The health or education. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Yes, education. We have diplomatic academies. In your Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you have a diplomatic academy, and so do we in Guatemala in our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we're looking to draw an MOU of cooperation between the academic academies, between the diplomatic academies, to be able to find new ways to cooperate. In fact, your ambassador in Guatemala has already reached out to our diplomatic academy to start drawing up such an MOU, and we look forward to doing that in the future. On a second basis, another issues for education, we have also scholarships that the Egyptian government is offering Guatemalans, and we hope to be taking more advantage of those in the future. These are very important, and they trace out the objectives, the 2030 UN objectives in climate, and this is very important, and we look forward to taking more advantage of those in the future.
And what can we say about the sector of health?
Health, this is very important, thank you. We are drawing up an MOU between the government of Guatemala and the government of Egypt to have cooperation with Egyptian Drug Administration and sharing know-how on how to fabricate inexpensive pharmaceuticals in Guatemala. This is a very important subject, and it's already, I would say, almost 85% completed, and it has to go through one last review in Guatemala. But the Egyptian authorities have already given it the all okay sign. This is very important. Thank you.
Your Excellency, how much is the volume of trading between Egypt and Guatemala?
No,
and what is the main products that we already are trading together?
Thank you. The trade volume varies. Unfortunately, COVID did have an impact on our bilateral trade, but it has been as high as 50 million a year. It has a surplus in the favor of Egypt and a slight deficit for Guatemala. What we sell to Egypt, as I mentioned earlier, is coffee, cardamom, several types of fruit, and what you sell to Guatemala are machinery parts, oils, and some fertilizers also.
Oh, and what about the investment? Even if it's in the private sector? Thank
you. Yes, the private sector, fortunately, has its own dynamic and it flies by itself. And of course, we're happy to cooperate with government. We're looking forward to receiving as much foreign direct investment from Egypt into Guatemala. Guatemala is an open land for doing business. It's easy to do business in Guatemala, so we look forward to that in the future.
Your Excellency, we know that Guatemala is an agriculture country, and Egypt also is an agriculture country. I know there is no cooperation in the field of agriculture, but I would like to know the difference of the crops that we have and that Guatemalans have. What can you tell us about it?
This is a very good question. It's one that personally interests me. When I was young in Guatemala, maybe 40% of our GDP came from agriculture. Now our GDP is maybe 13% comes from agriculture. It has diversified from coffee and bananas to all sorts of vegetables, fruit, Cardamom, for example, the cardamom that we sell Egypt, we are one of the largest, if not the largest producers of cardamom in the world. In the world. And it's a success story because these producers of cardamom, they're not large landowners. They're small cooperatives that cooperate amongst themselves, band together, and sell the cardamom to the Middle East and to other countries. So we have our agriculture has changed dramatically in the past 40 years. We still, of course, produce bananas. We still, of course, produce coffee, well, the best coffee in the world. But we also produce sugar, a lot of sugar. We also produce many, many types of fruit, many, many types of mini vegetables, boutique little mini carrots, and that's snow peas, etc. Egypt, well, you know what you produce, and it's all delicious fruit and vegetables here also.
What about the field of tourism? I know that we are both tourist countries, great destinations, but from what I see that you have more, let's say, you have a lot of tourists coming for the visits of Guatemala, I think more than Egypt a little bit. Why do you think there is this difference? Although we have a lot of monuments and historical places, maybe more than Guatemala.
I think we receive more per capita, not more absolutely than you do. You of course receive more tourists than we do, but per capita I believe we do. I think it's a variety we have in the land. I think we have with the volcanoes, that's become a trend now to escalate, to walk up the volcanoes and do that sort of thing. We have new sectors in tourism, for example, medical tourism. People from fully developed nations want to travel to Guatemala to have medical procedures. We also have a new sector in tourism, weddings, for example. Guatemala is very picturesque. Imagine people wanting to get married by the pyramids. Well, in the same way, people want to get married by our pyramids in Guatemala. So this sector has grown. Another sector in tourism that has grown a lot in Guatemala is the conventions sector. But as I said before, we have 2 oceans, so we have a lot of fishing. People come to fish, catch and release, fishing of sailfish and dorados, etc. Guatemala is mega diverse land, so both oceans, mountains, beaches, lakes, they all attract tourism. Culture, of course, culture of the people.
Does the marketing also have a point in it?
We are becoming better and better at marketing. We are becoming better and better at marketing. We have one neighbor in Central America that has always been better than us in receiving tourism, but we have caught up and we have passed them.
That's great.
Yes, marketing is important, indeed.
Your Excellency, I would like now to ask about Egypt from your eyes. We know that already you have been here in Egypt years ago as a tourist, and you have been around, and now as the ambassador of Guatemala. I want first to see from your eyes the difference that you saw now in Egypt from all these years, and what is your favorite destination as a tourist destination in Egypt?
Thank you very much. I'm happy to answer that question. Egypt is a beautiful, wonderful country. I'm so happy to be here. Here's my office next to the Nile. I mean, come on. How much better does that get? Here I am working in a beautiful historical country with really very polite and very nice people. My wife and I are always taken aback at just how genuinely nice you are. And we feel totally at home here. My favorite destination in Egypt, I would say Luxor. I thought Luxor was really very, very nice. Well, Aswan also, of course, but there's something about the south, Upper Egypt, that is particular. We've been recently to Fayoum. Fayoum is a very nice destination also. Delicious duck to be had there, to be eaten in Fayoum. And yes, no, it's very nice. I would say maybe I don't have a favorite destination. I would say I like all of Egypt.
Have you been to the great museum?
Yes, I went recently to the Gem. Wow, that is really impressive. Congratulations, well done. This is something really, really, that's beautiful. You know, you could spend a weekend there discovering new things. It's big,
yes, it takes time to have it all.
Something very interesting that I came across, and we were talking, you and I, between our break, of how Egypt is the mother of civilization, considered the mother of civilization, and one of the oldest, if not the oldest, civilizations. We saw at the Gem Museum boomerangs. Yes, boomerangs. And apparently boomerangs not only were used in Australia, but also in ancient Egypt.
Yes. And that's why we made this great museum to let all the people know our nations. Your Excellency, my final question is about the Egyptian cuisine. You have been here for a long time. So what do you think about the Egyptian cuisine, and which is your favorite dish? Which one is your favorite dish?
Yes, thank you. I like falafel. Yes, this is good. I like a good fool and baladi with egg. This is protein on protein. This is very, very nice. Of course, koshari is delicious. I don't think I would eat it every day, but it's very nice. But in general, the food across the board I enjoyed very much. And of course, the juices are so nice, the fruit juices. And the fruit in general is really very generous. So I enjoy that very much.
Your Excellency, we would like to thank you again for this interview and for all this information that you shared with us through this episode and the one before. And we wish you all the good luck here in Egypt. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
مشاهدينا في كل مكان، وبكده انتهى لقائنا مع سعادة السفير جورج دي لاروش سفير جمهورية جواتيمالا لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. أتمنى أن يكون اللقاء ده بالنسبة لكم موفق، وأن انتوا اتبعتوا معانا تاريخ العلاقات ما بين مصر وجواتيمالا وأيضا أوجه التعاون في مجال التجارة. وسعادة السفير قال أن في إن شاء الله خطط مستقبلية فيما يتعلق بالاستثمارات بين البلدين. نتمنى أن احنا نستفيد من هذه الخطط إن شاء الله في المستقبل. بشكركم جدا وإلى اللقاء.